the toolkit. In the first video, I shared that I have restarted my art practice, my creative practice since 2020, the pandemic. But since December of 2024 is when I started more focusing on like a sketchbook creative practice. And since around that time, I have built my mixed media toolkit, my art kit. And so I'm sharing what I have learned across that journey, tips and tricks for other folks who are just starting out and building their kit. So I have a few things that I want to share in this particular video, and it's more about like ephemera, collage paper, the paper aspect of mixed media art. And I also do collage and zines and incorporate that into my work. Let me see. I should have an example, of course, but I don't right now. Um, of how I incorporated a recent. Oh, here they are there. Hold on one second, because I do want to show this. Um, how I incorporated, and this is just a quick example, not anything too complex. Um, like how I incorporate other pieces of paper into my artwork. And so, again, this is just a quick sketch and a quick drawing and an example of how I would use some different paper with my art piece. Um, so let's hop into my first tip. So when I initially started back into my sketchbook practice, I had not, I had a few magazines, but I also wanted just magazine clippings from different sources. And so one of the things that I did was I went on Etsy, and Etsy has different sellers that basically make like collage packets, paper packets for collage. And it's not just like templated, um, like, how can I describe it? Like packets that have paper that's already, that someone else created. Like these are folks who are literally cutting pieces out of magazines and collecting ephemera, things that you can make other art pieces from. And so that's what I wanted. And like I said, I wanted them from like different resources. And so, and different resources meaning like different types of magazines, that I don't have. And so the first tip is to go to Etsy and look for small sellers that are selling like collage packets and packets that have magazine clippings, because they will pull together for you pieces that are from, different kinds of magazines. Again, that you may not have access to, and you may not, purchase and buy. These are really old, as you can tell. These are really old, like magazine clippings, which is good. Some of these are actually really harmful as well. You'll get some that have clippings again from really old magazines, right? But one of the reasons why this is I take the risk of potentially seeing a harmful image, and again, we're talking about old images that are stereotypical from magazines back in the day. But one of the things that is so good about taking the risk of running across things like that in these type of magazine packets is you will potentially come across a gem. So, and let me explain to you what I mean by a gem. So this is And this was a part of a larger magazine clipping, but this magazine clipping came from an Etsy seller in the collage packet, and it is a clipping from a 1987 architectural digest where they interviewed James Baldwin. And so I have a clipping from that magazine. And this led me on just another kind of deep dive related to James Baldwin based on this particular quote that he said. But the fact that I have an image, an original image from that magazine from James Baldwin is wild. I would have never, come across that if I hadn't purchased a Etsy pack of collage paper, right? So that is one that is one tip. Um that's one tip. Go on Etsy, check out different like small creators that have these that sell collage packets. Now, the other thing that I was looking for, and of course, I don't have it here close to me, and I don't know why. But the other thing that these Etsy sellers do as well, they will sell you little packets of words out of magazines. So if you want to incorporate text into your collage or your mixed media pieces, you can also search for Etsy sellers that sell like word packets. And like I said, I don't know. I thought I thought my packets of words were in this box. But I don't know where they are right now. But I have like they'll send you like 100 magazine words, and these are words and phrases that are clipped out of magazines. So that's my second tip. In addition to full page magazine articles, you can also get word packets as well that will help you build up your toolkit. Okay. The next thing that you can do is the third tip is to go on to eBay. And what you can do on eBay is you can search for, if you know that you are looking for a particular magazine, so like if you want Essence magazines, or if you want what is it called? I can see the yellow. Oh my gosh. Of course I'm blanking right now. I can see the yellow cover to this magazine, National Geographic. If you know that you want Essence, for instance, or National Geographic, what you can do is go on eBay and search for magazine lots, LOTS. A magazine lot is basically a pack of magazines that the seller is selling together. So, like, for instance, I knew that I wanted some Essence magazines. So, I went on eBay and searched for Essence magazine lot, LOTS, and looked at all of the sellers, looked at what year the Essence magazines were from each seller, how many were in that particular lot, how much, like if it was, let's say, $25 for um a lot of 9 Essence magazines, I looked at how, broke that down, how much was it for the total pack for each Essence magazine, and did that make sense for me to purchase? Also, in comparison to the other Essence magazine lots, like, did that make sense? So there's another way for you to grab and build your toolkit. You can go on eBay and get old magazines, and you can get packs of them that are from a particular magazine. So, like I said, Essence or National Geographic, or you can get a mixed lot of magazines. It can have different kinds of magazines. If you're looking for nature, if you're looking for more science, you can Google that. You can Google those search words and magazine lot, and you might be able to find something. Okay, so that is the third tip The fourth tip is to just subscribe to a few of your favorite magazines. So I made a list of all of the magazines that I just like in general, right? All the magazines that I just like in general, magazines that I feel like, would have the images that I'm looking for. And I picked a few of those, and then I just looked for how much the subscriptions were. Many of these magazines right now are running really good subscription deals. And so I just picked one. I didn't want to have a whole bunch of things coming in the mail. But I knew that I wanted Garden and Gun magazine. One, because it's like arts and culture, it's centered on the South. I know that they have really good pictures and images, but also I know that there's a wide variety of things that Garden and Gun covers. So this is the one that I particularly chose. So it may be something different for you. And if I remember correctly, I think it's like four or five magazines throughout the season, or it has to be like 4 or 5 magazines throughout the season, and maybe it was $10, maybe it was $12. I don't remember, but that is something additional that you can do, is just subscribe to one of your favorite magazines, and then over time you'll start to have, a little collection of that particular magazine. Okay, so those were 4 tips related to um, ephemera, magazines, um, and then also magazine images and how you build your toolkit up. The last thing that I'll offer for collecting paper for your toolkit is that you can also make your own collage paper. Once you have enough items in your toolkit to do this, um, you can shift to making your own pieces that make sense for yourself. Okay, so this is tip 5. And this is a recent example of me just making some collage papers for myself, right? And so these, in addition to the magazine clippings that I have, the magazines that I have, the words and the ephemera, all of this together, right, makes for paper for my toolkit, so that when I reach for paper and want colors, I have them. So I hope that that was helpful. I don't want this video to be much longer. Those were the 5 tips on how you can start to build up, accumulate, and create your own ephemera and paper for your mixed media toolkit. I feel like I will absolutely have, like, I can continue to talk about paper. And I do plan to, just related to the different types of paper, but also at some point I will talk more about making your own ephemera, and like how, like, this is a little candy dish, you know. These are small, um, just quick sketch drawings, right? But at some point, if I wanted, like, these could become ephemera and pieces that I paste into my images, my large art pieces, as collage or images, right? And I just made these after just quick sketches, right, on small paper. And so this is tip 6, that you can start making your own. I didn't set out with the goal for these to be ephemera. I just like small sheets of paper at times when I want to sketch. And then if you if that's your jam too, right? Like at some point, potentially these may end up in one of my art pieces, right? As a collage, as another image that I can add to the overall piece to make it interesting, and as well, to say that like, oh, I made these collage pieces, right? So at some point, I might come back on and do a video just specifically about that. But yep, that wraps up my 5 tips for accumulating, gathering, and making your own ephemera and paper for your mixed media kit. I will probably come back on later, or I'll just make another video in the morning. Again, this is video 4. Definitely check out the others in the series. I'm kind of on a roll here and feeling good about that. So let me know in the comments, your thoughts about this, if you've used any of these before, what you think about the video. If you're catching it, please give a thumbs up, or drop a comment in the comment section, because I like to, yeah, reach folks who this might be interesting to. Thank you.